So I just finished driving around. I've been driving around for more than a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, to try and get all this to settle. And as you can see, we still have an Evap code, P009, intake manifold runner, control circuit low. And then lost communication with TCM, that's still permanent, but it's driving fine. Intake manifold runner, control circuit low, bank 1. Now, this is what I was referring to before. I didn't want to go back in there and have to take the intake out again for any reason. That's why I put all the new parts in there. However, this has to do with, I think, one of those plastic valves that are on the intakes on the driver's side. One of those two. I didn't think much of it because it just feels like a spring and it felt like it was working fine, but that's what that is pointing me to. Now, I still can't get the smoke check because of that. So that means the intake has to come out again, and I had to check those because I didn't really think anything of it. And, it just doesn't seem like an electrical component, if you will. But for some reason, that is not working. And that's the only thing I can think of, because you saw on the other videos where I can move the runners with my fingers. So I don't know, stay tuned. We'll keep going, digging on this, but yeah.
So this morning I'm going to start the Evap number 5, I think. The reason I'm doing this one is because I'm still getting that code about the flaps being either open or closed, and actuators on the side of the intake here, they're way down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test them from the hoses here to see if they have a if they hold a vacuum, which brings me to the new tool, because I didn't have one, so I ordered one. So I needed a vacuum pump to check that, so I'm gonna do that this morning and see if this holds if the actuators hold vacuum. Let's do this first. A weird plug or connector here, so just give me a little room there. Okay, this is a tricky one because I really can't get a hold of that. I do not want to break it. Easier said than done. Now that they're new, it's hard to move them. Alright, got a little twist to them, and it's done. So make sure you put the grease on it, so it's easier to do. And now we need a, let's see here, which one? Which of this will do? the smallest one here. I think that'll do it. I'll make sure this holds vacuum, and it does. This one only goes up to, the max is like 25, maybe 26. As you can see, it doesn't go anymore, but it still works. So let's do this. Let's test the vacuum. It works. So let's test it here. This one I believe is the one for the one that's supposed to use the flaps. So let's see if it works. So it looks like it's holding vacuum. And the reason you want to check it is because you don't want to order the part and still have the same problem. It's barely holding vacuum though. When it's nice and tight. When I do this, it should go really fast. So let me show you. Well, just like I did earlier. See? As soon as I do it, it goes up a lot. And if I do it here, it doesn't. So even though it does hold a little bit of vacuum, definitely looks like that's a bad actuator, because it doesn't go a lot when I do it. I mean, you saw that. Hopefully the camera's catching that. Yep, see, vacuum, it's like barely working on it. So at least I know that part needs to come out, and I think I can change it from just moving this out of the way. So at least now I know I can order that. And here we go. On the back over here, I can see the green lever. So let me double check that and see if it moves or how long it moves. That's what I want to see. Yep, never moves. But the vacuum is not that great on that. So right now the lever moves, but it takes a lot for me to move it. Well, I guess I gotta glue this on here. Just falling off on both sides. Yeah. It's not just one of those Amazon finds, but it works for the basic stuff like this. So I see it moving, but the vacuum is not that good. Alright, so this is the one on the black. And we'll do it here so it's easier to see. And we'll mark it here so I know. Okay, so we got one dot there and one dot here. And that's all I need. I don't even need to mark the other one. So I know that one's going over there. And this one's actually longer too. I'll put a little more lube just to make it easier to remove when I need to. Because you do not want to break the piece. Or then you gotta buy another one. And I can actually leave it off for now, since I'm gonna be getting, I need to order that. So in order to get this on, you want to twist it a little bit before, so that it at least sits a bit without breaking. fast as you can. Come on. See, they're already nice and tight or snug, even with a little bit of grease on that. So yeah, you want to be very careful. So that's why I don't want to put it back right now until I get the part. So this is the second one on this side that I want to test. Trying to break the seal on it so it'll give. Ah, come on. Ah, this one's pretty stuck. There we go. Yeah, you really have to be careful. I mean, these are new already, so I have to be extra careful there. So let's go ahead and put this on. Let's test this on. This one you can't see anything, so it looks the same. It's holding vacuum. I mean, this is not very strong, but when you have the car on, obviously you're going to have a higher vacuum, or stronger vacuum, I guess you can say. But even with one pump, see, it doesn't go that much up. So that's not good. And look what happens again. If I just put my finger on it with one pump, look how far it goes. Because I got a good hold on it. So don't need to go any farther. I'm going to leave these two alone because I'm going to be changing that. So just another check on the other two pieces of the Evap system on this car, at least for the engine side. I know there's more in the back, but we want to make sure everything here is working, and because of the heat, you're definitely going to have all that going bad over time. So definitely get yourself one of these, because with this one you can also check the other solenoids instead of doing it the old way like I did. And I needed it before too, so the one here is for the flaps. The one on the other bottom, it's a different one. I'm not sure what that's controlling because you can't see it. So I just took out the thermal body intake again to see if I have access. And I do have access to 2 bolts, and I can maybe take it out from the bottom there on this one. But right now, what I wanted to verify is, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a connector port on the bottom of that one, but as you can see, there are no pins on this one. The one online shows pins, but there's no connector on the bottom, because the connector is actually the electrical part. On this one, it's on the top. Now I want to check the other one, because I believe it's similar. Let's see if I can get to it. If I remember right, it was similar. Come on. Where is it? Okay, it's there, but it's behind the... I remember there was no electrical connectors behind them, just the hose. I do have access to the bolts here, but putting it on there might be a bit of a challenge. But I think it's doable. And you know what? Since I'm already here, I might as well just take him out anyways. I think I can definitely change him. Might be a little fiddly, but I can definitely do it. Well, I know this one there is no plug on it. One on the back is the one on the front here. So you want to keep that in mind, or at least that's how I took them off. This is part of the intake, so you can't take that part off, but I think, yeah, it's definitely doable. Just a little painful, but we'll do it. Okay, this time I want to make sure, keep them together so I know which one goes where. So this is the one here. Forgot to unplug it. So it's not coming out. There's a screw at the bottom. It was just two, but there's three. Alright, not a biggie. Yeah, don't force anything out. Extension. So even though it's a little hard to, I just dropped the bolt, hard to get to this one, I'm doing it because I want to make sure we can do this without taking the whole intake out again. Obviously that would be the last resort, but I think it can be done. If I can get it through this hose. There we go. Alright, so I can take it out without taking the intake. There is a plug, but there are no pins down there. And that's what I wanted to show you. So that can be done. And this one gonna come out. Yes, finally. Here we go. Huh, look at that. Let me show you. That's the reason why this is stuck open even though everything else is working. This is broken. This sensor here, which I didn't take out before, it's broken right there. So I found another issue. That may still work, but who knows. But if you look in there, let me see. Can you focus? Anyways, if you look at the bottom of the green piece, that's metal. So that turns it. And I know it turns pretty easy. If you look, I can turn it by hand. So I found the actual problem of why it's stuck open, because this thing is broken, and as you can see, it does turn, but yeah, it's broken. So I need to get another one of these. I'm glad I took this out finally, just to take that out. And I wanted to take it out because I thought it was a different sensor where I could clean it, but nope. That's the problem right there. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm not even gonna go any farther taking the other one out. I'm just gonna leave one out right now. But you can see we got 3. Oh, now that this one's out, I can look in the back of the other one to make sure that there's no plug in the back like that, or pins. The pictures are kind of misleading on the auto parts site, or in this case Rock Auto, because they show pins, but this one don't have pins. So you may get the right one, or who knows. This car is that unicorn again, but let me check that. Actually, yeah, that one doesn't have any connector plug at all, as far as I can see. It's just a hose, if I remember right. Yep. Yep, I'm touching it. Yeah, there's no connector on that one. It's just like this one here. It just has this part right there and that bottom. So there you have it. Ah, what a little sucker that was. Because I know the intake's fine. They tell you it's going to be the intake, but if this is stuck open, the other problem would be the intake or the runner's problem. But I already cleaned it. I know that's fine. You can see that's fine there. But this is broken. What a mess. So we should get better acceleration once this is fixed, because what happens is when you try to put the gas, it just doesn't take too long, but it's not instant like it should be, because that's not moving. And for those that don't know, the MR2, the 85, 86 MR2s actually have flaps, but they're metal and they're between the intake and the head. And you have to take the intake in order to take those out, because I did change them. I was having an issue with that. I got a replacement. Once I did that, the low end was back to normal again, because if you have that broken, when you just kind of lose power, because that's when they open and close depending on the speed of the car. So that's why I'm familiar with that one as well. This one has it on the intake, but oh, I'm so happy now. Alright, so I got the new throttle position sensor, so we're gonna install that. I already showed you in another video that this is still holding, but this is what it looks like. There's hair coming through. There are no electrical pins on here, so I'm gonna put this back together right now. I was gonna change it, but it looks like it's fine. So I'm gonna put a little more grease on here, just to make sure we don't break it, or I don't break it, and hopefully it'll be easier to take out as well. Okay. I also went ahead and marked the hose for the last one here, which goes on that one. Just a little extra there. Just want that grease on there. It's not gonna pop out or anything. It's pretty tight enough already.
So the trick is going to be here. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go through the bottom because you can't get through the top in there. If I remember, how do we get this out? Just like that. Okay. Turn it at the bottom here. There we go. Okay. Be careful not to break it. Putting a little grease to make sure this goes in smoothly. It is plastic, but I am trying to remember if that was on the top or this goes first or not. So this goes first, then the other one. That's why it doesn't fit, right? There we go. Yep. Let's see. I just noticed that the old O-ring is still in here. And so is that broken piece. So that's what I'm looking at. Right there, you can see the O-ring is right here. The broken piece is right here still. So I need to get those off. And it popped up somewhere. So here's the O-ring right there, and there's the other piece right here. Come on. There is that broken piece. Take something else. Well, it landed somewhere down here. Might be on the foot. Yep, there it is. Okay, here's the other piece. Let me get this one in here. Yep, this one goes first and then the other one. So let's see. Okay. Gotta push it a little bit because of the O-ring. It's in there. So that's not too bad. The other one is, because it's right behind it. There, and right there. Alright, so we're good. That's the bottom. So I think I can get this one in here. We want to be gentle with this. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, one. This zone from here. Looks like it. It's down here somewhere. Where is it? It's pretty hard to see that one down here. Somewhere over here. Right there. Got to put this up. Yep, right there. Just trying to measure the depth because this is plastic. You don't want to go in with the wrong one. Right there. So we have that, which will fit this one too. No, this is actually longer. So you definitely want the shorter one on the bottom because, yep, this would be too long. So this one goes on the top. Little small item to note, but if you put the longer screw in there, you're gonna break it because this is all plastic. Easy does it. Okay. One more. The bottom here. Gotta lift the throttle body. Right back here somewhere. Oh, come on. Yeah, don't drop it. There it is. It's not too bad. So you gotta put the sensor in first, then the other actuator. So I got 2 screws. I need 1 more. I'll look for it and I'll come back. Okay, found it. So let's keep going here. This one has to move up. And just gonna try to send it in here or hold it as much as I can with the hole because it's right underneath. Got it. Got it. Got it. That's done. Let's see, is that all good? Yep, that's where it needs to be. Okay. Make sure Make sure that the bolt is in there correctly, and it is. Cool. So what I mean by that, I'll give you a close-up. If you look at the green up here and the black, it's right behind the connector, but you can't see that it's in there. So these sensors in, the old actuator is in. We might be able to use this hose holder. Yeah, there we go. Hey, pretty cool. That way that doesn't move and it's out of the way. So now let me put everything back. And yeah, I'll come back. Don't forget to connect all your connectors. Put back the hoses that you took out. Plug the new sensor. Make sure you get that nice click. This hose goes in here. I do have a new connector for this, but I need to go get it and see how that goes in here, because I'm not sure if it just pops out of this or not. I think it does, but I gotta look at it. So here is that new part that goes in there. So let's see. It's L341-13170. And you can't return it once it's open according to the paper, which kind of sucks, but so let's take a look. So there is an O-ring right here. So how does this work? Let's see. So that doesn't come out of the way. I can't see through it actually. Now that I think about it, I guess that just pops up somehow. Looks like there's an O-ring there, but it's like it may just pop out. So there's an O-ring in here. Let's see. Definitely don't want to break that. Get the O-ring. There. Dial. That goes in there. Oh, that's interesting. This doesn't fit. Does this come out? So that comes out. Well, there you go. That piece comes out. I guess that's not part of it. That just keeps it together. Yep. So this is going to go in here. Okay, now we're good. There is, I see the O-ring right below that. Okay. So you should be able to just pull this out. There's an O-ring here. So let's see. There's a couple of flats, I think. Okay, let me move that a little bit. On the throttle body, you have to pull that red tab before you can push it and take it out. Don't forget that or it'll break. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, just need a little more wiggle room. There we go. That one right there, I think. There we go. Okay. Nope. Good thing it does turn though. Let's see. Okay, so that's good. So it looks like there is a seat. When you put this one in, it sits on the edge right there, so it's not going to go right down. But yeah, you just got to pull it up, apparently. Not quite. Oh man, come on. Okay, does turn. Okay. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is just put this new one on here. Put the seal back. It's pretty good. Because this thing is so brittle, I don't want to break anything any more than it already is. So I'm gonna put this back. Yeah. And I've never taken one out, so I don't want to do that. Even though it looks like it just pops out, but that thing is kind of old, so why take the chance? Okay, O-ring is back in place. I'm just gonna drop this because this is what was broken on the old one. And how's that gonna go in there? Not as easy as it looks. There we go. It's in. Phew. Okay. So does this pull up when you need it? All right. Let's do it. I think that's it. There, it is in there. So, once you put it in there, it's not going anywhere. Okay, let me turn it on and check the codes. Okay, fingers crossed. Let me double check everything. Let's put this back. Okay. That's on, that's on, that's on. The other one, the new sensors on. Solenoid valves are all plugged in. Everything's on. Alright, let's turn it on and see what we got. Everything sounds good here. I'm going to stop the video here and look at the code. I haven't heard anything strange, so that's a good sign. So I got everything back together. I took a break because after putting everything together, I found that this VSV solenoid is getting very hot. I did try to actuate the runners. There is an actuation on the scanner because I'm still getting a P2006 this time, which is the same thing, runner stock close. So I came here and I noticed this one was getting hot, but I also took out the swapped the hoses just to see if there was any difference, and there is none. I was looking here to see if I would see that move, the throttle position sensor move, but it did not. But I did notice this is getting hot, so what I'm gonna do is unplug both hoses, turn it back on. It has cooled off by now, and then see if it still gets hot without the hose being connected to the. Okay, I'm back on the Mazda 3. The throttle position sensor, I verified it works great, and I thought that was the one that had to do with that other code with the runner being stuck, but apparently you have two runners. You have the top one, and I know that one's working, and the bottom one, which is the other actuator down here. That one doesn't seem to be moving. Looks like that one's stuck for some reason, even though I cleaned it. So I'm gonna try to take this out without having to take the whole intake again. As you can see, I had to take everything out here. I think it's just two screws. So I'm gonna test it manually like I did the other one to make sure it's holding what do you call it, vacuum. So I'm trying to do that from in here because you can't do it from under the car, even though I already lifted it up just to see. But you do have to take all this stuff in order to have a little more access here. So with this, you're able to get this one out, and I think I might be able to get on that one. So let's see if we can get a light in here. Kind of tricky, but this one gives me a want to see. I think Can't probably do it without taking it out, but it's just easier because you've got more access. So, just trying to figure out where that screw is. I got it right there. So you're like going blind in here with the everything on. There, got it. So I'm gonna take the inner one first. I want to say it's only 2 screws, but maybe 3. So let me hold this with my left hand. Take out that screw. Alright, there's one. And I thought it was 3, but I can't really see the other one. I see 2 of them. We're in luck with just 2. But I'm doing this on video, so you can see whether you can actually take it out without removing all that, because I already did that and I don't want to redo that. So and I tried moving it and it doesn't move, so it is stuck. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Alright, there's 2. They're the same size. It's gonna come out with 2 screws. Yep. Alright. So we're in luck. It does come out with just 2 screws. However, it's not a lot of room to move. So, crud. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, so there is the other flapper. So let's see if we can move it. So it does move, as you can see. I did clean it, so that does move. So the problem is not this. The problem is gonna probably be this thing. So I want to take this out, but I gotta unplug it. But it's going around behind there, so I gotta tweak this a little bit because I can't just pull it. So you can see I'm pulling that. So I may have to pull. I don't want to do this one. Take this one out because I already put it on there. So yeah, that hose is right behind it, and there's no more room. So I may be able to take it out from here. Just bring it down a little bit. Give me some room. So at least I know my lever works. Show you that again. Right there. See, it moves freely, and this is what's supposed to move. So that's good. I don't have to do anything. So I was already thinking of doing, I don't know, trying to get some degreaser in there just to try and get this going. Let me see, does this come out? Kinda does. Okay. I think it does. Let's see. Well, I don't want to remove it, but it looks like it does come out, but it is moving freely, so that it's not, it doesn't look like that's the problem. So now I gotta take this out and test this stupid thing. So let me do that. Now, this one is this one here. So I use a pick to take the hose out and make it easier so you don't break anything, hopefully. But that helps you push the hose up. Come on, you gotta move that back. It's pretty tight. It's come now, there we go. So, now that I have room, I can pull it a little bit just to give me enough room to take it out. Come on. So I don't want to push it all the way through, just enough for me to take it out of here. Obviously, it'll be easier if you have one to do this once you have everything out, but I assume they were fine. So that's what happens. Just trying to turn it upside down so I can get to the hose here. Just take it out. Okay, there we go. Alright, so how do you test this? Simply, we want to move this down right here and close this and see if it holds. That looks like it's working, so why is it getting stuck? This is what I did with the other one. See all that dirt coming out? So if you push down and you hold it, oh, that didn't stay. So it looks like this one is bad. See? Kind of comes out a little bit. So I'm just testing this manually. It seems to kind of work. No, it can't back out. See? Right there. Alright, so I get one of these. Because this one seems to be not working like the other one. The other one would actually stay all the way down once I did this. This one does not. It kind of comes up. So this is the bad one. So I gotta find this part. I got 1K14 on this one. So let me see if I can get this one. The dealer said this is part of that, which is not. As you can see, it's separate. I don't need a whole new intake. So I need this one. The other one I thought I would need, but that one's working fine. This is the one that's not working. I just figured that out just by messing with the other one too. But the other one did hold. So let me repeat that. See, hold it, and it comes out. So yeah, this was not working correctly. Yep, doesn't seem like it. So that's pretty much all for this video. I'm gonna stop it here because definitely need to see if anybody has this one. I think I saw it online, but I wanted to take it out to show you exactly what this looks like, because it definitely looks different than the other one. There is no plug that you can see, or electrical plug. Is just the vacuum on here, and it does only have 2 screws, so that makes it a little easier to take out. Just a pain, but it can be done. Alright, so I just cleaned it with WD-40 in there and on this side, and it's moving a little better. So I'm gonna just put this one back for now because I can't find it anywhere. And I'm looking at the lever here. So let me see if I can get this out. So it is a square, as you can see. I was gonna put some what do you call it? Some degreaser on there, but there's grease on it, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I just want to make sure, but this one I already put degreaser through here, and it's, as you can see, it's moving fine. Now what I'm trying to figure out is down, I believe it's closed because that's when you get the code. I'm trying to figure out how to install this back if it goes that way. When I definitely, the ball has to go in there, but there's only one way. Once you put it in there, it'll move anyway, so I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if I can put it back here. First we gotta connect the hose, which reminds me, I gotta put a little bit of just a little lube just to make it easier to put back and maybe take it out later on if I need to. It's pretty snug with the 4mm, so you know it's not going to come out, which is exactly what you don't want. However, here's a tip. Remember when I changed the hoses, I gave myself an extra inch? Well, give yourself an extra 2 inches. That way if you have to take it out, you'll have a little more room than I have. Still doable, but as you can see, it's not much room left. Now, just gotta twist this back in here because it's gotta go under the other one that's in there already. And kind of wiggle it into place. Actually, there it is. So, yep, it's got to be up the front. Oh, let me show you. I know you guys can't see it right there. So, and then you just put it in. There is a guide there. If I can get to it. Well, come on. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. I know you're there. Well, you get the idea. Let me. Well, I had it in there. Now it's not. So there's a guide on the top and on the bottom. So both of them have to go right in, and then it'll sit nice and flat. And now I'm trying to find both of those guides. That one now, because I can't get it in there. I'm going to stop the video and not let you watch me struggle, so I may end up taking this one out just to move it. But yeah, that's going to be painful to put back. It came out, but doesn't want to go in as easily. Right, so I had to loosen the screws on here to give me a little room. I was able to get it in there. I don't have the screws in there, but make sure the lever is in here when you put it in there, because it was down and it wasn't up here. So make sure it goes into the holder there. Let me see if I can take a look here, just to be sure. As you can see, or maybe not. Let me get the flashlight. Hang on. So it is in there. So that's what we want.
Now I can put all the screws back. It's doable, but it's tricky, so let me tighten these back. I don't know how it came out with that on there, but you can't even get in there if it's if you have this one on there. So make sure I'm like catching the holes. Got it. Oh, wasn't even quite in there, but finally dropped in. So I did not take it all the way out. So at least that's on there. This one too. Go ahead and get the screw. That's easier right here. It's already nice and flat. So make sure both sides are against the other piece there, or you're gonna break it. Lift this up. Now the reason I'm putting the hold on back is because I can't find this anywhere, so I just went ahead and cleaned it. It seems to be moving better, so who knows, we'll see, or maybe I had it wrong there. I don't think so, but I pull it all the way to the back because that's where it's sitting. So I'm guessing that would be the open position. I can't remember, but now I need to put the other screw in. This one's the tricky one. Let's see. Just go down here. It's not too far down from where the other one is, so just gonna touch my way in here. Come on, where are you? Right there. So it's not too far. It's right there. There, we got it. I got it. So I'll get it started and get the screwdriver under here for the Torx. Okay, it's done. Question is it going to work better now? I can pull it from here. There we go. Hopefully not from the back of it. That shouldn't come out. It was just stuck here. But I'm going to go get the, what do you call it? The vacuum pump and just watch it and see if it works. I'll be right back. Let's see. Yep, works. See it moving there? Maybe. Let's see if I can get you a better view. And come on, get out of the way. Right there. So it's moving now. So maybe that'll fix this problem. So I'm going to put everything back and test it again and see if the code comes back. Looks like it's working. If it works with this one, I know it should work with that one. Another problem I saw before I found that it was that one, is that this was getting pretty hot. The solenoid here. I unplugged it, plugged it back in. I'm still doing the same thing. But I am able to
actuate it with the scanner, but it actuates this one. If you want to see the throttle position sensor moving, you have to turn on the car and have somebody move the accelerator, and you'll see that one move from this side. For this one, this is the high speed, I believe, so it only works when you're over 70 or whatever. But because of all the dust that was in there, I guess it wasn't like letting it travel smoothly, so I went ahead and did the W40 cleanup, and it seems to be moving a lot better now. So hopefully that'll take care of it. And I thought I had it where it's supposed to be, so we'll see. I'm gonna end that one here. Put everything back. You don't need to see all that. As you can see, I've taken this one quite a few times, so I can't get the part apparently. So everybody's on vacation anyway, so I did take pictures. Maybe I can look for it later if I really need it, but the dealership said that that comes with it, with the intake. But you don't really need the whole intake if this is the only problem there, so that makes no sense. But that's where we are right now. Today I have a new video, and I want to talk about this little sensor here. As you can see, this is the new sensor, this is the old one. Now, this is what goes on the top of the actuator on the intake on the Mazda 3. And I was looking for an actuator sensor and just trying to find the name for this, and then eventually I couldn't find anything, but eventually I went to O'Reilly, and there was a guy named Adam. He was able to help me figure it out, that they usually call this the throttle position sensor. You know, it doesn't look like your regular throttle position sensor, but that's what it is called. So just so you know, because if you look under actuator or intake actuator sensors or runner sensor or whatever, you're not going to find it. That's the first thing. So this is what happened to this one, as I showed you on a previous video. It broke right there. That's what that looks like. This is the only thing that you see, and the only part number that you have here is 1916 and E. You see the camera will pick that up right there. Nothing comes up. It's got a yellow dot. That's about it. But I went to O'Reilly, so Adam was able to help me out. I didn't order it there. I just went ahead and ordered online because they have to order and then I have to pick it up, and it was just the same as me ordering the item and having it shipped to my house. And sure enough, I ordered it yesterday. I got it today, so that was pretty good. Comes in a baggie. This is the box. This is what it is. And it does say made in Japan, which I was surprised because it's like the first thing that I've ever gotten that's made in Japan there. But that's what it says. Whether it's an actual part from Japan, who knows. Anyways, it's quite a bit for this plastic piece at the dealership, so I just decided to go with the O'Reilly version. I have tried some other O'Reilly parts and they work okay. They're being fine. And so I want to show you the difference. As you can see, this is shorter than the new part, but that's what they look like. Everything else is pretty much the same other than the length here when you look at it. So that's the profile there. If you put them together, it's still the same profile, so not too bad. And this is what that's supposed to look like. So there's a copper metal ring on this one, but this is all it does. It opens the flaps and it turns. It's pretty smooth. This one's not as smooth as that because it feels plasticky, but that's what it is. So if you look at it, everything is the same. 3 pins, so pretty much the same as far as that. The difference is in the way this is made, obviously. This is definitely smoother. I believe this is the OEM. I couldn't tell you, it's the first one I've ever taken out, but just from looking at the the way it's made. This one has like 2 thin walls, I guess, if you will. I mean, just at the top, not at the bottom, but it seems to kind of make it a little weaker in that sense. This one seems a little more solid all the way around. But, I mean, who knows? Only time will tell. So, I can basically either put this back on with the other actuator or get another actuator, which is just the diaphragm with the spring on it. They're pretty old, so I don't know, I may order it from the dealership because it's actually about $10 more than what you can order anywhere else, so it's not a huge difference in that. But I just want to get this one, you know, fixed, because you do need that in order to control the runners or the flaps that are on the intake. But you know, just this little piece, it's not cheap. It was over 100 plus tax or whatever. So that's at O'Reilly. If you get at the dealership, it's twice that, almost 200. Well, was 170 something, and then you have tax or whatever. So it adds up pretty quick. The worst part is that this is just plastic. So, I mean, you know, it's up to you what you want to do, but this is the way I'm doing it. So once I get that done, then there's another diaphragm on the bottom, but the gentleman at the parts counter basically told me that they don't sell that separately because it's part of the intake, which I find kind of odd because you can take it out just like the one on this one. So I may just leave that one alone for now. I don't know. I mean, it would be better to just change both of them because they're in the same weird spot. And since you have this one out, it's easier to get to the other one. So it's just one of those things, because obviously I didn't look at this one when I first took the intake out. So that's something to keep in mind, and why I'm doing the video, because if you do have that and you're planning on taking the intake and all that good stuff to clean it and check to make sure the runners aren't broken or there's nothing broken there. This Mazda 3, everything was just dirty. I didn't see a lot of play on it, nothing broken, but yours may vary. I did see a video where at the very end there was one, or the person who was making the video had a broken piece in there. It still worked, but just something to keep in mind. So again, this is the throttle position sensor. It's not on the throttle, so you know, I kept looking for a different name and then it would just never come up. Now the other thing about it is that this only came up for a 2.5 engine. The one this Mazda 3 has is a 2.0. So actually when we look under 2012 Mazda, it wouldn't come up. Then he went down to the 2011 and sure enough it came up, and it was just like a 2.5. It's a weird thing. I don't know why that is, but this is what it has, or at least this car has, and it's a 2.0. So that's just something to keep in mind, because if you don't find it with your particular model, again, the 2012, this one, it's like a weird unicorn on that car, so that's why I call it that, because it's just odd, you know, trying to find parts for it. Another thing, some of these parts you can actually go to if you know the part number, you can actually go to the Ford dealer and see if they have it, because one of the people who work at the counter on a different day, I have this other piece that I ordered. Actually, it's right here. Let me show it to you. And he said, let me show you the part. It's right here, this one here. Remember I think I showed you on the other video where the hose goes in here, and they had that red insert right there to hold the hose in. He actually said that this was a Ford part, so he called the Ford dealership because he knew the other parts guy there, so he was trying to check and see if they had it over there, so he was able to do that, but they did not have it, so they had to order it at the Mazda. So I already got it because I want to make sure that all this stuff is working correctly in order to get the cars to pass smog, because you know you do need that. And you don't have to do this every year or anything, but you know, if the car has broken parts like this, after you know a while, you just gotta change them. So that's pretty much it. And let me see here. Here's the part number. Yeah, that's the last name. Where's the part number? Right here. L341-13170. So there you go. It's called connector hose. It is for the hose. But let me see. That's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah, they don't have anything else. Name, Mazda, code, number, line. So that's all I can tell you. That's what that is. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Check this out. Let me see if I can show you. Give me a second. What does that say? Mazda genuine parts. Look at that. 4 parts. It's actually on here. So you might be able to get it with this number, L341-13170. So you get Mazda genuine parts, but it says 4 parts. Go figure. Huh. Funny that it's in there. Well, there you go. You get some 4 parts in your Mazda. That's why. So I hope that helps, and that's pretty much it for this one. I just went ahead and took out the actuator or motor or runner control valve, whatever they call it. So this is what it looks like. There is a connector here, but as you can see, you don't have any pins in here. So this one doesn't have the pins, but I think the one I've seen online has pins. This one does not. So this is all it is. It's a plastic valve or actuator. So there is a what is that number? 1K16 maybe, or 1N. It's hard to see. And then here we have a couple other numbers there. I can't read them. So that's pretty much it. Now, I thought I was going to change this one because on the video that I did before, I used the vacuum pump to see if it was holding. It took a few tries, but actually let me show you here manually. When you do it manually, if I do this, I can feel air right here. But if you do that, push it and then hold it, it actually holds a vacuum, which is what you want. So far it's holding. I don't see a reason to change it. It's pretty strong too. So if I let go, then it goes. So that's all it does. When you have the vacuum here, it goes down to open the runners, because this is where the switch goes. Right about, let me see, this goes to the back. I think this goes over here, like that. And that's what tells it when it gets actuated. So that's pretty much it. Let me see this real quick. Let me look at the numbers here. PA 56. GF 50, I think. So the numbers doesn't really tell me anything, but anyways, that's all the actuator is. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and reuse this one and just put the new position sensor on, and then test the car again and just see if the P4002 gets clear, because it basically has to do with this sensor. This one's broken, but it could also be a bad sensor at the same time. So that's why I'm changing it, but apparently that's the only thing that's bad. So let me do it again. Put my finger on it, and as you can see, it's holding where it's supposed to be. So this looks good, even though the pump seems to be a little off because it may not be sealing properly. Remember, that's just an eBay pump, so I just took this out to do it manually to give it a check and give it a good look, especially there, because this trim doesn't have that. So others may have it, but you may still be able to use it without those. I don't know. So let's get to it. So my other camera just ran out, but I went ahead and unplugged the hoses from the VSB solenoid. I have the key on. It's not getting hot, but I hear something here. It's like right down here somewhere when I just put the key on. So I'm wondering what that is. So I'm going to turn it off, unplug this, and see if I still hear it. Because it was getting hot before here, but right now it's plugged in, but let me see. There's nothing going on there. And I can actuate it. I can actuate this one from the scanner. But let me do that and see if I unplug that and it stops. I want to see if it's that or something else. It's like a little motor that keeps going. Alright, we're just having the key on, having this plugged in. It's getting warm. I hear that going. And here is the scanner. If I do on, off, you can hear it. Okay, so that seems to be activating. Let me see here. Turn that off. Let me get the key and unplug that. So I clear the codes on the car again, so that's what I'm getting. I'm gonna go for a ride. Everything is working fine. The new sensor is working fine. I had somebody sit in the car and turn it on and press on the gas, and sure enough, the sensor is good, and the vacuum or that actuator is fine. Everything there seems to be fine except the VSB solenoid was getting hot, but I unplugged it, plugged it back in. So I'm gonna give this a shot until hopefully this light goes green. Hopefully. That's gonna be a while because it's gonna warm up. Okay, I just came back from running around. Everything is back to green. I still have the Evap code. However, I did fix the throttle position sensor, and that is working beautifully. As soon as you hit the gas, the car just goes. So that was another problem. So the actuators are fine, at least for that one. I know the other one is probably the same, but I'm still having this other codes, so I gotta look into it because I don't know what's going on there. So I have to keep digging onto this problem until I get everything green here. So here is the lower control runner actuator for the Mazda 3. Those are the numbers there. Here, let me see if I can get a good shot of that. It's a 1K14, and on the other side we have those numbers. So I can't seem to find this one anywhere. This is the lower one. So when you get that runner control stuck, it could be the upper or the lower, but it doesn't tell you. I already found that the problem on the top was the broken throttle position sensor, and I have verified that that works. I took the car out for a drive. Now this one was still coming up, and when you move this, it kind of gets stuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and gonna out on a limb here, and I'm gonna try to clean this and see if it works any better, because all it is a pretty strong diaphragm and spring in there. Not the diaphragm, but the spring. So it kind of holds, but I think it may just be pretty dusty and dirty. So I'm gonna attempt to clean it and see if that works any better. So as you can see, I got it holding. If I can get it to hold vacuum on this one, I had to use the T on there because, or not the T, one of these 90 degrees, because I didn't have anything to put on there, and that's how I connected it. You can see it is holding. So let me show you. I'm gonna let the air go. I don't know if the camera's gonna catch that, but let me get a close up here. So now that I cleaned it, I put a lot of I pressed it in, and I shot in some W40 in there, and from this side. So let me use the pump here, and now it moves a lot smoother. So leave it down. So I think the problem was all the dirt that was in there. It wasn't letting it move smoothly, and this doesn't have a lot of vacuum from what I remember. So I had to use the other one manually. That's how I did it. I didn't clean the other one. The other one just, all the dust came out just by moving it. And the way I moved that is I just used like a screwdriver, not a screwdriver, this is a Torx, but just put it in here and just manually force it back and forth. And as you can see, vacuum is holding, so I may be able to reuse this one because, like I said, I can't find it. Seems to work now that I cleaned it a little better, or smoother I should say. So let me take the air out. Obviously with the vacuum it's gonna dry up even more, but I just wanted to make sure that it actually at least moved better so I can test it out, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this part, since they only list the other one online on all the part sites. So this is the runner control for the lower intake on the Mazda 3 2012. That's pretty much all I can do with this right now, so we'll see. So I cleaned the valve over there, but it keeps telling me it's stuck, and when I try to accelerate, it just bugs down, doesn't accelerate fast enough. But there's still vacuum here. When I put it on there, it automatically, let me show you. Let's see here, I can show you. Right there, when I put it on, it automatically closes it. So the valve is working. See? I don't know if you can see it right there. Right at the bottom there. So I'm testing the valve here because it does work. However, I took the hose off. There's always a vacuum there. And this, once you put the key on, I get 13 or so volts. And I saw a connection with the TCM, so I just went ahead and unplugged it back there. And I still get about 11 something or 12 volts on it with just the key on. So it isn't the TCM. I just want to verify that. But this is keeping that on, meaning it's keeping it, I guess, close. But I test drove the car, and now it's just, after I cleaned it, when I try to go over 60, it just, higher speed, it just doesn't do it. So Trying to figure out why that's staying on, because I want to make sure it's not a bad valve. Something it's keeping it on. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be on or closed or when you first started, but I think that's only for the high speed, if I remember correctly, when it's supposed to open it, but it stays closed. So I'm still testing because yeah, I don't know what else to look at in here, but I'll keep looking.